Today we'll look at Al-Baqarah verse 102, which is the only verse where Harut and Marut are mentioned. Let's start by looking at the vocabulary. اتبع, يتبع. To follow. سحر, magic. فتنة, trial. Now let's turn to Al-Baqarah verse 102. This ayah is very long, so I'll divide it into two videos. It might seem daunting, but we'll be able to understand the entire ayah if you hang in there till the end. Then let's go ahead with this verse. وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ حَتَّى يَقُولَا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةٌ فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. Now let's go through it together. Our first word is وَاتَّبَعُوا, which is wa plus ittaba'u, meaning and they followed. The hamzat al-wasl and the ta infix indicate form 8 perfect verb. It's from the root ta be ain, but the first radical ta was assimilated into the ta infix. U ending indicates that the subject is they, referring to the Jews. Moving on, we have ma meaning what, and then we get tetlu from the root te lem well, meaning to recite. The te prefix indicates either 2ms or 3fs, but we can tell it's 3fs here because the following subject is grammatically feminine. But wait, isn't this form identical to the 2mp subjunctive or jussive? Yes, this form looks exactly the same as 2mp subjunctive or jussive. So what's happening here? In MSA, this verb would be written like this in 3fs conjugation. But in Quranic orthography, an extra elif is added, which makes it look like it's a plural verb. And this peculiarity occurs with some of the verbs that have well as their final radical. So please be mindful of that. Moving on, we have ash-shayatinu, meaning the devils. It's the plural form of shaitan. It's nominative as the subject of the verb tetlu. The next word, ala, usually means upon, but here it means during. Up next is mulki, meaning the kingdom or reign. We saw a word from the same root in Al-Fatiha verse 4. Here, Malik means master. Coming back, mulki is in genitive because of the preposition ala. The next word is Sulaymana, meaning Sulayman, peace be upon him. It forms an idafa with the previous word meaning the reign of Sulayman. And Sulaymana takes fatha in the genitive case because it's a diptot. So to recap the first line, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ means, and they followed what the devils recited during the reign of Sulayman. This refers to the Jews believing what the devil said about the prophet Sulayman, and we'll find out what the devils were saying about him later in the verse. Moving on to the second line, we get wama, which is wa plus ma, meaning and not. Up next is kafara, meaning he disbelieved. And then we have Sulaymanu, meaning Sulayman, peace be upon him. This time it's nominative as the subject. Moving on, we have walakinna, which is wa plus lakinna, meaning but. Up next is shayatina, meaning the devils. It's an accusative as the subject of lakinna, since lakinna is one of the sisters of inna. The next word is kafaru, meaning they disbelieved. So the second line, وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا means, and Sulayman did not disbelieve, but the devils disbelieved. So what we can understand so far is that the Jews were believing what the devils said about Sulayman. but it was the devils and not Sulaiman who committed kufr. Moving on, we have yu'allimuna, meaning to teach. The shadda over the second radical indicates form 2 verb. The verbal root ain, lam, mim carries the meaning of knowing in form 1, and the form 2 verb means to teach. U prefix and una ending indicate 3MP imperfect, so we can translate it as they were teaching. The subject here is the devils. Moving on, we have an-nasa, meaning the people. It's an accusative as the direct object. Up next is as-sihra from the root sin-ha-ra, meaning magic. It's also in accusative as the second direct object. So yu'allimuna an-nasa sihra means teaching people magic. Here we can understand that the devils committed kufr by teaching people magic. So probably what the devils were saying about Sulaiman also had to do with magic. Up next is wama, which is wa plus ma. This time, ma is not a negation particle but a relative pronoun. So we translate it as and what. Moving on, we have unzila from the root nun zay lam, meaning it was sent down. The hamza prefix indicates form 4 perfect verb, and u-e vowel pattern indicates passive voice. Moving on, we get ala, meaning upon or to. Up next is al-malakaini, meaning the 2 angels. It's from the root mim lam kaf, which is the same root as mulki from the previous slide. The aini ending indicates dual noun in genitive, and the singular form is malakun. Moving on, we have bibabila, which is b plus babila, meaning in Babylon. Babila is in genitive, but it takes fatha because it's a diptot. Next we have Haruta wa Maruta, meaning Harut and Marut, which are the names of the 2 angels. So to recap, وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ means, and what was sent down to the 2 angels in Babylon, Harut and Marut. So the devils were teaching magic as well as what was revealed to the 2 angels. Moving on, we have wama, meaning and not, or but not. And then we get yu'allimani, which is the same verb as yu'allimuna, meaning to teach. U prefix indicates third person imperfect tense, and ani ending indicates dual verb, meaning they both teach. The subject here is the 2 angels, Harut and Marut. Moving on, we get min ahadin, meaning anyone. Here, min is an extra particle used to emphasize the sense of anyone. Up next is hatta, meaning until or unless. And then we have yakula, meaning they say. Ya prefix and the alif at the end indicate third person dual subjunctive verb. The dual imperfect form is yakulani, and to get the subjunctive, we drop the final nun and it becomes yakula. So the first line, وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ حَتَّى يَقُولَا means, but they don't teach anyone until they say. And in the second line, we'll find out what the 2 angels say. Innama is inna plus ma, meaning only. Up next is nahnu, meaning we. Up next is fitnatun from the root fa-te-nun, meaning a trial. It's nominative as the predicate, and the verb to be is implied. Coming next is fala, which is fa plus la, meaning so not. And finally, we have takfur, which is the same verb as kafara we saw earlier, meaning to disbelieve. The ta prefix and sukun at the end indicate 2ms jussive, and jussive is used with la to give a negative command. So la takfur means don't disbelieve or don't commit kufur. Now let's recap the second line. Innama nahnu fitnatun fala takfur means we're only a trial, so don't disbelieve. Alright, that was part 1 of verse 102. and we'll cover the rest in the next video. Let's recap what we learned today. In English, we can say, and they followed what the devils recited during the reign of Suleiman. And Suleiman did not disbelieve, but the devils disbelieved, teaching people magic, and what was sent down to the two angels in Babylon, Harut and Marut. But they don't teach anyone until they say, we are only a trial, so don't disbelieve. So we can understand that the two angels were sent as a trial, and in the next video, we'll find out how they did in this test.